This week, you get a twofer. Did you know I'm doing Instagram Lives every week now? Also on Thursdays, usually about 11 o'clock in the morning Central Time. So, the first part of this podcast episode is my brief Instagram Live. So, I issue a challenge in this Instagram Live recording. And then once that recording is done, we go right into my interview with Avi Golden. Avi was a paramedic and is an aphasia stroke survivor for the last 13 years. Avi's passion is about educating others about aphasia. He works with a speech pathologist and they travel across the United States talking to others about aphasia. In addition, Avi is living life. He is thriving. Nothing holds him back from enjoying the sports that he loves. So listen to my interview with Avi. He shares his aphasia journey with us. He talks about disability sports and what he wants others to know about aphasia. Enjoy.
Welcome to the Listen for Life podcast with Genevieve Richardson. Genevieve is a speech-language pathologist rehabilitating adults with communication challenges after a stroke or due to a neurological impairment. Get equipped with knowledge from experts in the field and professionals you need to know. We'll hear stories and experiences from others who are navigating life with aphasia. So, put your earphones in and take a walk outside. This isn't just a podcast. This is a community, a resource, and a support system. We're in this together. Do life.
Good morning, Instagram. Genevieve here, and I am so happy to be with you today. Today, I am celebrating a double anniversary. What anniversaries do you ask? The first one is my wedding anniversary. Woohoo! Today is officially year 27. So happy anniversary, hubby. And the second anniversary is today. The 52nd episode dropped for the Listen for Life Aphasia podcast. So 52 weeks of content, of consistency has been coming to you every week, and I intend to keep it up. So how you can help me, aphasia community, send me more ideas. I mean, I've got plenty of my own, but if there is a topic that is important to you, if there is a question, if there's something going on in your world regarding aphasia, let me know. Send me a DM. Send it through Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I would say smoke signals. I joke about that, but I can't see smoke signals in Austin. It gets a little windy here. So please let me know what you need, community. So that's my double anniversary. Today, while I am live with you, I actually have an interview that's being played directly to Facebook and YouTube today. I had the pleasure of interviewing Avi Golden, who is an aphasia stroke survivor, who is killing it with life. Avi was a paramedic prior to his stroke 13 years ago, and he is doing life despite his aphasia in that he's doing disability sports. Check out that interview with Avi on Facebook and YouTube channel. You're not going to want to miss it. He actually has a presentation. We showed some pictures from it. And in the future, we'll do a full episode just about disability sports and how even if you have a physical impairment, you have a language impairment after a stroke, another accident, another condition that impairs your limbs in any way, if you are motivated to do sports, athletic stuff like skydiving, scuba diving, notice both of those are diving words. Interesting. Water skiing. It is possible. So Avi shares a little bit about that with us today on that interview. So I'm going to keep this short today. And first, I want to come back around to the challenge that I issued for you all last week on this live. I asked you to identify what your number one communication challenge is, whether you are the person with aphasia or you love someone who has aphasia. This is really important in that it's using the concept of metacognition. Metacognition is where you think about your thinking, or we could call it meta-language, how you think about your language. When you are able to take a step back and think about, well, how do I get my message across? How do I get my message across to someone who has aphasia? Or how do I get my message across when I can't find my words all the time, or I have a hard time fully formulating the thought that I want to convey? How does that work? Think about what your challenges are: word finding, formulating your thoughts, actually producing the words. Maybe you have a weakness on one side of your mouth, you have a dysarthria, or you have an apraxia where it's harder to put your sounds together into a word. Whatever the communication impairment is, versus look at your communication situation. Is it with your spouse or partner? Is it with your adult kids? Is it with your younger kids? Is it talking to a neighbor? Is it on the phone? What is the circumstance? So you got 3 things to be thinking about: your communication impairment, who you're talking to, and what is the situation. So taking all of that, can you narrow down what is your number one communication challenge? Once you can identify it, then you can, again, taking that step back, using meta-language, metacognition, analyze it. What can you do different? What can you ask your listening partner to do different? Break it down, come up with some ideas, and then this week, try some of those ideas. Reflect back. Did it work? Did it not work? Were you surprised that it worked? If it worked, rinse and repeat. Practice, practice, practice. Communication is hard, even when you don't have aphasia. I might have made it 27 years with my husband, married, plus 4 years of dating before that, 31 years. We are still working on our communication. Oh boy, does he have the stories for you. But we don't have that aphasia complexity to our relationship, and you might. So I would love to hear your stories. I'd love to understand your challenges. I would love the opportunity to share your challenge. Of course, no names, we keep this anonymous, and provide some problem solving. We can do it live next week. And this is going to be an ongoing option for you. If you've got an issue with your communication and you have aphasia, send me a DM. Let me know what it is so that we can talk it through. Other people can learn from your experience and what you're going through. So that is my challenge. How did it go last week? How did you think about your communication challenges? And then this week we are carrying over the same challenge. Think about, what is the aphasia impairment? Think about who it is you're communicating with. And then think about, what is that situation? Are you trying to talk about what you're having for dinner? Are you trying to talk about a bill that came in the mail? Are you trying to talk about your complaint about a worker that has come to the house and you want something to change or do something different? Think about your communication and let me know in the DMs. Wishing you all a fabulous week. Stay cool wherever you are. It's only going to be 101 today in Austin. Woohoo. At least it's only 101. Take care, everybody. Good afternoon. It's afternoon this time. Today, I have the honor and privilege to introduce you to Avi. Avi is going to share with us his life with aphasia and who he was before his aphasia and who he is now and how he is thriving in his life. So, without further ado, I'm bringing up Avi. Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you?
I am terrific. Thank you so much for being here today. When you and I met, and I'm trying to remember, I think I cold Facebook messaged you
Okay.
because I've heard your name and I had heard your name from years back from my mentor, Bill Connors, who lived in Pittsburgh. And he was just a fan of yours and loved what you were doing. So I did cold Facebook message you and we Zoomed, and here we are today.
Well,
So
thank you.
tell me a little bit about you, Avi.
Sure. Well, I have a stroke. It's 5, 10, 15, 16 years now. But before, I was a critical care and flight paramedic in New York City, and I was going to go to medical school. But first, I went to surgery, and in the surgery, I have a stroke and aphasia. So now, basically, number one, I'm working with a speech pathologist every day to speak not normally, but close. Number two, I am teaching with a speech pathologist together, talking about aphasia with EMS or police or hospitals, but also speech pathologist students, OT, PT, people with disability, and also kids. And then for three, for me, I love disability sport. Before is sports, like not football, baseball, I don't like it, but like skydiving, scuba diving, hiking. So is disability. So a lot of people who had disability came and together and helped a lot of things to do. Like, for example, No Barrier Summit is a disability sport for 3 days, and it's amazing. So, it's a really very, very cool.
Neat. Well, I wanted to bring up so folks can see. Avi shared with me his PowerPoint. So we're not going to go through all of it, but let's talk a little bit about what did you enjoy about being a paramedic?
Oh,
Sounds like a fun and exciting job.
well, first of all, in New York City, it's about 5, 6, 7, 8, 0. 80% is garbage, just garbage, just stupid. Like a lot of time, a lot of people, one person is eating gum, and she is in my hair and called 911 like crazy. But 30 pa- 30 pa- the thingy is very, it's fast and furious, like really you have to go to hospital right now. So it's really very, very cool. So a lot of people love, and me too, love to go to paramedic, to go to a lot of helping. So yeah.
So you're saying 70% you use the word garbage,
For
like
for me,
calls, for non-emergent situations, and then 30% emergencies,
yeah,
and that's where you're really helping people.
yeah, yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about your aphasia, Avi, and what was it like in the early days? Because I'm guessing it's very different than where you are now 16 years later. 16.
Yeah, crazy. So I went. So before, I was going to go to medical school, but first in my head I say, you know what? I am going to go to medical school, but first I'm going to go to surgery, because like 10 years later I must have surgery. So I say, you know what? Before medical school, I'm going to go to surgery. I went to surgery, and in the surgery, 1 or 2% has complications, and I have aphasia now, stroke and aphasia. So 1 or 2 days, weeks, I was crying and sad, and because all I could say was Michael, 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 and I don't know who Michael is, but whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah. So the doctor says, so doctor said the doctor says, the heart is awesome. You're the best. Unfortunately, you have aphasia, stroke and aphasia. And I say, what the hell is it in my head? Out to the Michael. I said, what the, that's so, well, just weird. How about that? So also I was sad or maybe crying 1 or 2 days because I'm angry, angry with me because I said, crap, now what I do? My arm is nothing, my leg is nothing. I am in the hospital in the bed, and I all I could say was Michael. So what do I do now? So basically, I am. I was now. I was working with is a speech pathology together, working every day to get better, and I'm still even today still working with a speech pathology student together, and it's helpful. The other thing is everybody is different. That's the problem. I mean, the solution. So a lot of times with aphasia, a lot of people are not is mute is very 1 or 2 words, and a lot of people is nothing. Everything is okay, So
For sure.
yeah, but yeah, so I am working with a speech pathology and I'm teaching, so it's very good.
And I love that teaching part. We're definitely going to talk a little more about that. So you had Michael.
Yes,
That was your output
for 1 year.
for 1 year. Okay. But talk to me, because I think people are curious. You are very aware of everything. It seems from our conversations, you have been very aware all along what you could and couldn't do. What was your thinking like that first year when you couldn't get the words out, but did you have pretty clear thinking, or just tell us a little more about that?
So in the hospital for 4 months,
Mhm.
I was in the hospital for and 1 month roughly. It's very I have is fuzzy because I went to surgery, and in the surgery I have a stroke, so it's fuzzy for 1 year, 1 month, and then 3 weeks, 3 months. All I could say was Michael, and then later I am working with a speech pathology, and it's like very very small, very like dogs or cat. I the speech pathology says, okay, I'm going to say dog, and you repeat dog. And I say, okay, in my head, dog. And I says, Michael. I said, no, sorry. And I push, and it's dogs. So it's getting better and better and better, but it's very slow, but it's getting better. Do you
Mhm.
understand? Yeah,
I absolutely, I got you 100%.
yeah,
And I love the strategies. I love how you're using your hand to count, and I pick up on these things, but I'm trying to bring them out, so because like you said, every aphasia is very different, just like you're
yeah,
very different from everybody else too. So
yeah, absolutely. But it's a lot of people, everybody, listen to me for people with aphasia. Don't worry, work and laugh.
mhm.
Work and laugh with a speech pathology together, and it's getting better. Sometimes it's worth and sometimes it's less, and sometimes it's people are still it's is mute, not mute, but 1 or 2 words, but everybody is happy, like really working, really working and laughing, and it's happy. Yeah.
It's no, I got you, because, and I think that's one of the points I wanted to make. You
Yes.
have to have your support people. So if you feel sad or if you're down, that
Yeah.
you can share that with someone and come back up. Because I think you, as you very well are aware, isolating. Aphasia is
Yes.
very isolating.
Absolutely, absolutely. But like for example, next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, this Wednesday, is Adler Aphasia Center has a play called Fiddler on the Roof, and I am Tin Man. So a lot of people who don't mute is mute, they doesn't care. They are happy and say one or two words, and they are not able to understand what's going on, but they doesn't matter. Just happy. Everything is happy because the speech pathology and people with aphasia together is making together. Sorry, do you understand?
Yes, you are working together for a common goal, which is to put on this play. What is the name of the play, Avi?
Wizard of Oz.
There you go. There you go. Yep. And you are,
Tin Man.
yes. So I will, after that play happens, I definitely want to put up some pictures of you and all the participants at Adler, and I have them on my list to interview as well.
Perfect.
Because
Perfect.
I want people to understand that there are community centers out there,
Absolutely.
and you got to get on Google to find
Yeah.
them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, is a lot of New York City, I mean USA, a lot of stuff
There
in
are.
university or college, a
Mhm.
lot. And other people, other website has, like for example, Adler Aphasia Center is a lot of people who is a speech pathology and people with aphasia together is, I don't know, 5, 10, 10, 100 people together for 2 days. So it's pretty good.
100 people together.
100, yes.
Yep, 100. There you go.
So
Nice. Love how you did that. It all works.
yeah,
So these 16 years, what have you been doing with yourself?
nothing. No,
Yeah,
no.
I know you're just hanging out.
So number 2, I am teaching with a speech pathology together, talking about aphasia with EMS or police or firemen or hospitals around the world, like North, North, New, no, New, North England. Oh, it's Michael.
I heard you say north,
South
south.
Africa, South Africa,
Wow.
or England, or Israel, or Iceland. To I was speaking with them, so that's amazing. And I also go to Zoom after the stroke. I mean, before the viruses, or after the after I am traveling, or Zoom with a lot of speech pathology students or OT PT students or university or college, but also people with aphasia, people with disability, to speak about disability sports. So it's really very, very cool as well.
We're going to show some of your pictures from disability sports, but I wanted to just touch on briefly how you're working with a speech pathologist to educate a variety of professions about aphasia.
Yeah,
And how is that received?
actually, very good. Is because like EMS or university hospital know what aphasia is. They do understand what aphasia is, but the problem is, like, the doctors and nurses or whatever don't first of all, aphasia is very high, like MS or speech, speech other disability is lower than aphasia, but don't but people who don't know what aphasia is don't realize that they are is problems. So I teach with a speech path together with doctors or nurses or PAs or whatever, and they understand more than before. So it's good for the people, and that's great, 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 great. So
So
yeah,
they're being educated about what aphasia is,
yeah,
as well as maybe communication strategies, how to approach someone with aphasia.
yes, yes.
And what would you say to if we had a professional sitting here next to me? What would you say to them how would you want them to approach someone with aphasia if it's their first interaction with them?
Like doctors and nurses, or
Yeah,
what?
like if it's say it's a nurse,
Okay.
somebody just coming out of school, perhaps doesn't know aphasia yet.
Well, they understand what aphasia is, but don't really know what's
Mhm.
going on. Yeah. So I say, my name is Avi. Before I was a paramedic, and then I have aphasia, stroke and aphasia, so it's hard to communicate. So I say, the doctor, nurse says, "Oh, I understand. I I I understand. So what do you want to see?" So I'm teaching for me, only for me, not everybody else, saying, so before I was a paramedic, critical care and flight paramedic, and now I have aphasia, but I'm teaching with doctors and nurses and PAs about aphasia, and a lot of people who know, a lot of people who is doctors, nurses, understand more than before, and that is awesome, really, really awesome, because they know now it's higher than before. So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
And probably some very concrete strategies such as speak slower,
right. Yeah.
simplify.
In the hospital, close the door, turn the TV off, on or lower, talk to direct with people with aphasia directly, not family or friends, that, because they know, they they te- they are listening intently, so it's it's good because doctors and nurses are here with people with aphasia. So yeah, because a lot of times the doctors, they have they are the patient is there, but are speaking with the family, and that's wrong. Yeah, yeah. So
Because you're a person and you want to make decisions. You want to know what's going on.
right,
And you want that respect of having eye contact and
exactly,
being spoken with.
exactly.
So powerful. I love that you're out there teaching and you come at it from a unique perspective because of your training in
Right,
healthcare.
right.
It's awesome. So powerful.
Yeah.
So let's do a little pivot. I've got your PowerPoint. I want to pull back up here. I think
Sure.
I'm on a good slide. So let's see. I'm thinking this is going to lead us to where I want to go next.
Okay.
Some things that Avi likes to do. What could those be, Avi? You want to give us a preview while I try and advance these slides? Oh my, do
Yeah.
tell.
So after the stroke, about, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, I mean 3 or 4 years after the stroke, I went to Oregon, who a family who is my friend with me. So I flew to Oregon, to or another state, Oregon, not Oregon. But anyway, so me and one girl and guy together, who is weddings, went to skydiving, and I jumped with another guy who is my friend, and is really very awesome. It's awesome. Yeah.
That is cool. So, was this your only time skydiving?
No, so one time, 2 times before the stroke, and 3 times. Two is airplane, and one is indoor skydiving. Is
Oh, yeah, yeah. We
Yeah.
have that here.
Oh, good. So yeah. So, and a lot of people who have disability or friends together spend together are going to, or a lot of indoor or outdoor. So it is really cool.
That's neat.
Yeah.
So, let's see what your next picture is here.
So scuba, and then you can. So two people who has aphasia. One is Ed, and the other is Art. They are also going to the play. Adler Aphasia Center has a play. So also they love to go to a lot of disability sport. So in the winter, a lot of people and me went to New Jersey, no, Connecticut, and ski or swim with them. So yeah,
So cool.
yeah.
Let's go to another picture.
And again, is a lot of people with disability, not just aphasia,
Yeah.
disability, have a good time for like sailing or gliding or scuba or hot air balloon or sails or, you know, disability sports, a lot of sports. And it's really very, very cool.
And how did you get involved with this organization?
Oh, so it's very funny. So 3 years I was I I was in after the stroke, so I'm working with a speech pathology, but also I love to do a lot of experiments. I mean, speech people with disability, doctors, nurses, was working with me with experiments. I love experiments, so that's so. So I went to the experiment, and then I went inside outside the hospital, but I saw in the hallways is a flyer, and in the flyer is disability sailing, not sailing, ski, gliding. So I say, what the hell is that? What? I don't understand. Is disability gliding? First of all, I was like, what is gliding as well?
Right?
So I went to the website and I see it's disability, not just aphasia. I mean, not just ability, is just a disability gliding. So I say, oh my God, what is that? So I went one time for me, only alone, went to sailing. And I said, oh my God, that's amazing. And all I could say was basically one or two words, like, small words. So I said, oh, Michael, awesome. Michael, awesome. So I went to Adler Aphasia Center and I say, look, disability gliding, come. So Ed and I forget her guy's name, they she me and two other people, Ed, went another gliding. So I said they said, oh my God, it's amazing. And that's the first time and now it's so I spend time with the website and I see a lot of stuff and I join a lot of things and a lot of people, not for me, but other people say, ooh, that's cool. I want to do it as well. So either together or separate, going to a lot of places. So it's really very,
That's
very
neat.
cool.
Is this organization bigger than just New York City?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The world.
Wow.
But USA is very high, is disability sports. But yeah,
Neat. Well, I will definitely link that in the show notes so that people can learn more about it because those look like amazing adventures.
and also just saying, No Barrier Summit is a disability sport. So next month, I am going to No Barrier Summit in Oregon. I don't know. Every year is different state, a different city. So there's a lot of stuff. A lot of people who have disability have a good time. OT, PT, speech pathology students, kids, wheelchair, and stuff like that together. And it's in the morning, skiing, snowboarding, hike, whatever, and then in the evening, people who have disabilities speak about their story, and it's so powerful, so powerful. So No Barrier Summit, look it up. It's amazing.
Awesome. We'll link to that in the show notes too. Avi, did you have this sense of adventure before your stroke?
Yeah, before I loved to do a lot of sports. Like I don't like football, baseball. I don't like it, but like skydiving, scuba diving, whatever, hiking. And then I have a stroke. So I went to the hospital and I see gliding. I say, what the hell is that? And that's the first time.
Yeah.
So Yeah, but before I did not. I am I'm afraid. I'm so sad because I say I have no arms. I mean, it's very gone, and I thank God I was walking with cane. I was with cane before, and it's hard, but they they said, I don't care. Let's go. Let's have a good time together, and so I go, and yeah, and the rest of the story is good. So yeah.
Would you have any advice if someone feels like they want to try this, or they have aphasia, or they just have had a stroke and they've got weakness on one side of their body? What do you think? But there's something that's keeping them back. Is there any little piece of advice you could give that would help inspire, maybe to find out more?
So everybody is different, but for me, I say number one, work. Just work, work, work with a speech pathology because they are. It's. I don't know whether it's a speech pathology me or working. It's working or no. I don't know, but I'm working because I am not able to go to the hospital, the work. So who cares? Number one. Number two, how how come? I mean, what now? What? So I say, look, I can do it for sports. I mean, everybody is different, but for me, sports. And a lot of people who has aphasia, disability, says, "Oh, that's interesting. I'm gonna try one or two times." And now a lot of people are having a good time together or separate, but have a good time. So yeah, so number one, work. Number two, laugh, and number three, have a good time. Like sports for me, sports.
Love
So
it.
yeah.
And within all that, you have a sense of community and you have support. You're receiving support, you're giving support, and you're staving off that whole isolation thing that happens.
Yeah, yeah. So
Love it. Avi, thank you so much for coming on today and telling us your story, telling us about disability sports. I
absolutely,
appreciate your time. And we're going to do another episode just about disability sports.
I know it sounds awesome.
We'll do videos, whatever we want to do. That's going to be another episode down the road.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, sir. And hold on. And everybody, thank you so much for watching. I hope you felt inspired by Avi and all of the great information he shared with us today. Thank you for joining me on this 53rd episode of the Listen for Life Aphasia podcast. Before you leave this episode, I want to encourage you to head to dolifespeechpathology.com. That is our website. And on there, you will have the opportunity to sign up for our Aphasia Resources newsletter. This is something that comes to your inbox every week and provides you tangible tips, tricks, information, and content from each episode of the podcast. I hope you'll consider subscribing. We would love to get the information to you, and we work really hard to give you actionable information that you can apply today. Check out dolifespeechpathology.com.
Thanks for tuning in to the Listen for Life podcast. We hope you feel empowered and supported. Head over to listenforlifepodcast.com to see the show notes with links and information from today's episode. Do you have a topic, a resource to share, or a guest recommendation? Inquiring minds want to know. Let us know in the comments section. Wishing you a fabulous week.